Hi friends, today is Friday, March 12th, and with Reading with Principal Rabb-Patterson, we're still reading 50 Amazing American Women Who Changed the World by Laurie Calkhoven, illustrated by Patricia Castelao. All right, today we are going to learn about Georgia O'Keeffe and Amelia Earhart. Miss Georgia O'Keeffe is an artist. Fact file: born November 15th, 1887, near Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. Spouse: Alfred Stieglitz. Children: none. Died March 6, 1986 in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Georgia O'Keeffe, who grew up on a farm in Wisconsin, always liked making art. By the time she graduated from high school, Georgia knew she wanted to be an artist. She studied in Chicago and New York, but the formal rules in art school made her question her early goals. Then she took a class in South Carolina and learned about the less structured and more imaginative world of abstract art. Soon Georgia developed a style all her own. Georgia sent drawings in this new style to the world-famous photographer Alfred Stieglitz, and then had her first one-woman show in New York City. Stieglitz, who later became her husband, offered Georgia enough money to quit her teaching job and spend a whole year focusing on art. She became famous for her paintings of dramatic skyscrapers and giant flowers. Georgia was soon recognized as one of the country's best new artists. Her work changed in 1929 when she visited the American Southwest. For the next 20 years, Georgia spent part of every year in New Mexico, painting the desert, mountains, and flowers of the Southwest. In her later years, Georgia painted mountain peaks in places like Japan and Peru. She also created a series of paintings based on the rivers, the clouds, and skies she saw from airplane windows. Today, she is considered one of the most important artists of the 20th century. Presidential medals. In 1977, President Gerald Ford recognized Georgia's contribution to American culture with the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States. President Ronald Reagan gave her the National Medal of Arts in 1985. Record-breaking sale. In 2014, one of Georgia's flower paintings smashed the previous record for the sale of a work by a female artist. Jimson Weed, White Flower No. 1, sold for $44 million. And that is Miss Georgia O'Keeffe. Amelia Earhart, aviator. Fact file: born July 24th, 1897 in Atchison, Kansas. Spouse: Georgia Palmer Putnam. Children: none. Disappeared July 2nd, 1937, somewhere over the Pacific Ocean. Amelia Earhart, the world's most famous female pilot, always loved adventure. Along with playing sports like basketball and tennis, she loved sledding down icy hills. She and her sister Muriel made up game when they were young that involved using handmade maps to travel to imaginary places. In 1920, Amelia talked her father into paying $10 so she could ride in a plane at an air show. When she landed, Amelia announced that she was going to take flying lessons. She worked odd jobs to pay for the lessons herself and later saved enough to buy her first plane. In 1928, Amelia was chosen by her future husband to be the first female passenger on a transatlantic flight. At the time, air travel, especially across an ocean, was considered very dangerous. Amelia became a sensation. She went on to break many flying records as a pilot, including becoming the first woman to fly alone across the Atlantic Ocean. Amelia's biggest dream was to be the first pilot to circumnavigate the globe at, or as close as possible, to the equator. In June 1937, she set out with her navigator, Fred Noon. On July 2nd, after traveling about two-thirds around the globe, over 22,000 miles, Amelia and her plane mysteriously just vanished. Rescue searchers looked for her, Fred, and their plane on land, sea, and air, but no trace of them was ever found. Many people believe they must have crashed into the ocean, but others continue to search for signs of Amelia and her airline on small Pacific islands. Daring adventures. After a family vacation to the St. Louis World's Fair, Amelia, Muriel, and some friends built a roller coaster in their backyard. Amelia went zooming off the tracks on her first ride and told her sister it was just like flying. Nurse's aide. Amelia visited her sister in Canada during World War I. Seeing wounded soldiers, she decided to take a Red Cross first aid course. With that training, she became a nurse's aide at a military hospital. And that is Miss Amelia Earhart. Have a good evening and have a great weekend. Bye, friends.